my least favorite character by far, and that's Hopper. I don't like Hopper. Never did.
Why?
Because he's a bad father. And I can see him as a father. He's so helicopter. He's just so goddamn protective of the girl. Just like, let her be, man.
Yeah, but it makes sense with his character though.
Don't care. You know, if you're gonna be responsible for something, let them live. Don't treat them like an animal. Treat them like a human being. You know, even if they have the power they have, you know? It's like if you have an autistic child, if you have a savant child, you can't keep them in a room just because they might get hurt outside. No, they have to live, you know? Let them be. I totally sympathize with Elle throughout the whole season. And his relationship with Joyce.
I think everyone does sympathize with her, but you understand why he is like that.
No, well, I understand why he would be like, but I would overcome it. I would urge him to overcome it. In fact, everybody tells him to do it, and he doesn't do it. Even at season 5, when I was already like, you know, she could be married for Christ's sakes, you know, and she's shown that she's more powerful than anybody, and she knows better than anybody. Still, he insists on treating her like a child. No, man. You know, in Russia,
I think in season 5, you're right. It's a bit like, dude, come on. Like,
well, throughout the whole thing.
No, but like in season 2, it makes sense that she's just been tormented by their government, and they think she's dead. So he's like, you're finally getting peace and quiet. Like, just stay here. Then in a bit, then you can. Then in season,
he's a dunce when it comes to women. His relationship with Joyce is absolutely appalling. I'm like, come on, man. You know, he's not my kind of guy, Hopper. I mean, he plays his part. He's really good as a character. He has to be there. Stranger Things would be nothing without Hopper, but I just don't like the guy.
And why don't you have a problem with the way Joyce treats Will?
Yeah,
because she treats him exactly the way Hopper treats.
True, it's true. It's true. But she has a lot of good qualities to her. Her only big flaw is the way she treats Will. She's overprotective of him. But then there's also maybe a reason for it. The thing is that Will is, as opposed to Elle, Will is weak. And he's always been weak, and he's always been portrayed as weak, and that's why I'm assuming so that the evil can get through him easier, right? And so you understand that in such a weak character, her mom could be a little bit protective. But it is true that I would get protective over Will because of her relationship with him. You know, it's like, leave the poor guy alone. His brother had, you know, Jonathan had a more of a fatherly approach to his relationship to Will, which was more of equal type thing. You know, it's like, I'm going to protect you, but I'm going to let you do your thing while I keep an eye out on you. Whereas Joyce was overprotective. You're totally right. But then outside of that, Joyce was just great. You know, she's the one that figured everything out on her own. She's totally independent, regardless of the fact that Hopper would not help her out. You know, of course he wouldn't. You know,
what?
Well, Hopper didn't believe her. He just dismissed her as just like, you know, he didn't believe her in season 1 at least. You know, I was like, come on, man.
Dude. Anyway. Okay, so what I've realized is you have, for whatever reason, you have an unjust dislike towards Hopper. Because should I tell you why?
Why?
You just said, why didn't Hopper just believe that an alien, or what they believed was an alien, a creature, a monster, come and take Will? Well, because that just doesn't happen in the real world. Wait, before you continue, let me finish. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you said Joyce has other great qualities, but just because she's overprotected doesn't mean she's a bad mother.
Yeah.
Which you literally said that Hopper has other better qualities. He saves the day, but he's overprotected, so it makes him a bad father.
No. Totally, but it's totally different. Totally different.
So from what I'm hearing is you have
Hopper issues.
Joyce was...
You have, like you say in Spanish, le tienes manía.
The moment, yeah, I do. The moment Joyce found out the truth, she was dying for imploring people to believe her. Whereas Hopper would have said, this is a truth, and this is a truth, and whether you believe me or not, it is a truth, and this is what we're going to do because I believe it to be the truth. That's the difference between Hopper and Joyce. Joyce needed help and asked for help, you know. Hopper would say, that sucks, my truth is my truth, and we're going with my truth. Obtuse.
But like
square-faced.
You're right, but does it not make sense with his character though?
Yes.
So then?
So I just don't like his character. That's what I'm trying to say. There's moments. There's
I'm
moments.
trying to say.
There are
saying it
moments.
very clearly.
There are moments where you say like, "Oh, okay, cool," but then he screws up again, and I'm like, "Oh, come on, man," you know.
Well, let's just agree to disagree.